Coming up on Murrow News 8, a man with meth was busted on Highway 195.
And a fatal car crash leaves one dead. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Hello, I'm Becky Oberlander.
And I'm Grant Cavalier. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
An update has been released on the 22-year-old victim in a fatal car crash last Friday on South Route 195. Washington State Patrol identified the victim as Angelina D'Amato. Angelina was an accounting student at Washington State University, working to become a CPA with a minor in construction management. According to a post made by her father, Angelina had celebrated her birthday just days before the accident.
A Pullman man accused of ramming 15 cars on Grand Avenue last month has been arrested for allegedly trying to rob a home. 30-year-old John Bradley was previously detained, charged, and released for the charges relating to the crashes. Bradley was arrested again last Tuesday for attempting to break into a house on College Hill.
A Spokane man with an extensive criminal history has been arrested for meth charges. Richard Presnell, who is 57, was caught with half a pound of methamphetamine during a traffic stop on U.S. Highway 195. Presnell has had 19 arrest warrants, one currently active, and a former drug charge in 2001. Presnell is expected to face 1 to 2 years in prison.
The Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport is planning to make developmental adjustments. Our reporter Olivia Soliz attended their open house event to know more. Olivia?
What Pullman, Washington and Moscow, Idaho have in common is the regional airport. And tonight, the community got together to celebrate just that. In the Moscow Visitor Center, there are people gathered behind me to learn more about the new advancements the Pullman and Moscow Regional Airport will be providing for us in the next few months. What coordinators are calling a master plan is meant to make life simple for both travelers and faculty alike. But what are these changes, you may ask? Beneficial additions that hope to be implemented in the years to come. For 2026, their near-term project would be an SRE and ARFF building, plus a taxiway and runway maintenance. Department Manager of Aviation Kevin Neutraline has been having these ideas for years.
Well, the project has been going on since about mid-2024, the whole project. So we've planning this event. I think it's been a couple months in the making and getting the content together, getting the boards developed. I'm really happy with the turnout that we got today.
They plan to achieve these goals over the course of time. Between 2032 and 2041, there should be a passenger boarding bridge, expanded terminal of 129 spots, and other maintenance needs implemented. Sharing these ideas with the community was important, so Moscow's Chamber of Commerce got involved to host this event.
We really love working with the Pullman-Moscow Regional Airport. They're incredible community partners, and obviously the airport is such a staple of the region. It's really an honor to be in collaboration with them. We've been planning this for, I'd say, about a month now. We're so pleased and so thrilled to have the community support for events like these.
Guests learned that the long-term project vision would be consisting of 22 additives in total between 2042 and 2046.
You know, the airport has grown a lot in the last 20 years and see where the airport's going to go in the future. And so a big part of this project is looking at how does the airport prepare for that, develop the airport in really a kind of safe and efficient manner.
The changes that are yet to come will hopefully impact our traveling community better. Reporting in Moscow, Idaho, Olivia Soliz, Murrow News 8.
WSU's annual research expenditures increased 14.5% in 2025 from 2024, marking the 5th consecutive year of growth in research investments. The 2025 Higher Education and Research Development Survey found that the U.S. Department of Agriculture is the largest funder of WSU research at $73.7 million. More than half of the 2025 research expenditures came from federal grants. The HERD survey also showed WSU is the leading public research university. After the break, an update on WSU libraries and how community members of Lewiston are coming together.
Plus, we'll have our weather reporter Augustus telling you if there will be 6 more weeks of winter.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
On Saturday in Lewiston, demonstrators participated in the March for Life to advocate for the value and celebration of life. About 200 people showed up to Brackenberry Square for this annual demonstration. Participants marched to show their opposition for abortion. Event organizer Shannon Eggleston said this is not a protest for opposing abortion, but more for the celebration of innocent life.
Murrow College has 2 Hall of Achievement inductees in 2026. Sherry Nebel and Greg Witter are the recipients of the Hall of Achievement Award, which shows exemplary leadership, public service, and a desire to use communication to strengthen civic life. The Edward R. Murrow College of Communication will honor Nebel and Witter early April at the 50th Murrow Symposium.
2026 brought good news for workers across the state. The minimum wage has increased once again. The minimum was raised by 2.8% to $17.13, up from $16.66 last year. Now, speaking of good news, can we expect the same with the weather forecast, Gus?
Well, it kind of depends on what you think counts as good weather. If you're like me, I'm going to answer 2 questions today. The first one being, will we get any snow? And I personally love snow. Quick answer is absolutely not. We're not even going to get remotely close. If you take a look at today, we're going to be looking at a high of 46, 43. And tomorrow we're going to be getting it even warmer with a high of 53 and a low of 37. It's going to be the worst part as we get to look at these little state map here. We're going to see this is the ugliest thing you'll ever see. Seasonal depression is not going to get away. Look at this. Olympia, rain. Seattle, rain. Yakima is going to be at its best partly cloudy, and it's only going to get worse from there. Maybe we'll get a little bit easier on this. Not at all. Tri-Cities, rain. Spokane, rain. And we're going to be sitting about, the good part is we're going to be sitting a little bit in the high 40s and something like that, so you can really wear about whatever you would like. But we will be permanently sitting we will never hit freezing temperatures as the week goes on. At the moment we will be sitting, of course, at our beautiful Washington gray 46 degrees. And in a second, I'll take a look at this 5-day forecast. And as a matter of fact, I'll let you get out of the way so you guys can look at this. We'll be looking at, today we'll be looking at 53 degrees. Oh, excuse me, that's going to be tomorrow. And we will get to our highest point right on Thursday, and that'll be where we get a little bit more sunny, and we'll be sitting where there should be a little less clouds out the way. We'll be focusing on stuff like that. And it's going to be nice and sunny for the rest of 51 degrees going into the rest of the weekend. That's going to be it as we look at our 5-day forecast, but I do want to say Punxsutawney Phil has decided to say that we will get 6 more weeks of winter, and that is just not going to happen.
Thanks, Augustus. In other news, WSU libraries are running 3 artificial intelligent research trials. Each AI will perform tasks like filtering searches, finding texts, and generating citations. The idea behind this is that AI can make researching articles easier. However, these developments can only be used with open access articles due to licensing agreements with publishers.
Coming after the break, locker room troubles for WSU men's basketball.
And a new school record, an NCAA milestone for a rising track star. Grace has both these stories coming up and more.
Feels like no matter where you look, the state of the world's getting worse. Oceans full of plastic, an endless amount of waste, an impossible task ahead of fixing our beloved planet. But change can't happen if you do nothing. So here's where you should start. Reduce. Why? Because Americans produce more than 200 million tons of waste every year, and you don't want to add to that. Reuse. Why? Because reusing and repurposing cuts back on unnecessary waste, and it gives things a chance at new life. Recycle. Why? Because recycling creates jobs, it helps our community, and it helps our planet. And after doing all this, what will we be left with? we'll be left with a planet that will slowly start to heal. We'll be left with more money in our pockets. We'll be left with more opportunity for work. And most importantly, we're left with hope for the future. So reduce, reuse, recycle.
In their win against Portland, WSU was without one of their key contributors, Emmanuel Ugbo, who was suspended for violating team rules. Head coach David Riley said they do not know how long it will be, but will update once they do. Ugbo is averaging just 6 points per game for the Cougs. WSU track had a strong showing at the UW Miles City Meet. Rosemary Longisa ran a 4-minute and 24-second mile, ranking 3rd all-time in college. She was 1 second away from breaking the all-time record. She also beat her previous personal best by 16 seconds. WSU men's basketball beat the University of Portland 104-74. Forward Emily Yalaho showed out, finishing with 26 points and 9 rebounds. Richard Vaviers also has 18 points, shooting 4 out of 5 from 3. WSU had 5 players finish with 10 or more points. The Cougs are now on a 3-game win streak. WSU women's basketball lost to Gonzaga in a thriller, 81-75. Eleanor Avila scored 22 points on 10 for 13, shooting from the field. The Cougs kept it close due to their 3-point shooting. On the season, they shot 28%, but against the Zags, they shot 48%. The NFL Pro Bowl is tomorrow. The NFC and AFC will play each other in a flag football game matchup. The Pro Bowl has faced scrutiny online due to the roster selections. Quarterbacks Joe Flacco and Shador Sanders were selected even though their stats are not Pro Bowl worthy. You can watch the game February 3rd at 3:30 p.m. on ESPN.
Coming up next after the break, we'll dive into a 1,400-year-old tomb that was discovered in Mexico and what archaeologists found. A stunning discovery out of southern Mexico is turning heads on a global stage. Archaeologists discovered a 1,400-year-old tomb in San Pablo, Huitzo. It is believed to belong to the ancient Zapotec civilization. The ancient find consists of a few murals, such as a decorated owl head with a man's head stuck in the beak. Experts believe this offers rare insight to the burial traditions as early as 6th century BCE.
Now, while I'm up here, I do want to ask before we call it a day. Punxsutawney Phil said the 6 weeks more of winter. I don't believe him. What about you guys?
Well, I personally think that I should call him Punxsutawney Phil because I do not want 6 more weeks of winter.
Obviously.
Yeah, I don't believe him either. We've had some nice weather so far.
I was going to say, it's barely felt like winter at all here in Pullman, so I think 6 more weeks is a bit of a stretch. We're barely in winter as it is.
I know, it bums me out.
I personally think that if there is more winter, that I might as well just jump off of a cliff while I'm at it. Anyways, I'm Grant Cavalier, and that's it for Murrow News 8 today.
Make sure to follow us on social media and stay updated on YouTube.